You know how it goes. You do so well all day with healthy eating. Healthy smoothie for breakfast, salad for lunch, healthy balanced dinner, snacks that you packed in your purse to take with you. And yet, somehow nighttime comes along and you end up plopped on the couch eating junk food that you know is not going to bring you closer to your goals. Nighttime snacking is something that I hear about all the time. And when I was really struggling with my relationship with food, it was something that I felt like I was never going to be able to break free of. So I get it. This is definitely the number one question that I get from my students and clients. My name is Sarah Best, and I'm a nutritionist, but my clients like to joke that I'm the nutritionist that never talks about food. And that's because my work is really not about telling you what you should eat and what you shouldn't eat. I feel like you already know that for the most part. My work is really about helping you understand why you don't do it consistently and teaching you how you can reprogram and rewire your brain and the way you think about food and your old habits and patterns so that making healthy choices consistently starts to feel a whole lot easier. Nighttime snacking, as I said, is the number one thing I get asked about, whether it be from my online community, from clients, or just from people who find me online. And I totally get it because, as I said, it's something I struggled with for years. So I want to share with you just 3 simple tips that I use to avoid nighttime snacking and that I've taught to my clients and students over the years. Step 1 is just to breathe, just to get present. Okay, your breath is the fastest way to bring you back into the present moment. And often we're snacking mindlessly at night because we're not paying attention. We're just in autopilot. So I want you to get out of autopilot by connecting to your breath and just taking 3 deep breaths. When you feel that pull to the pantry or the freezer for those snacks, I want you to take 3 deep breaths. Next, I want you to take a little bit of a pause. I call this a delayed gratification technique because your brain is more interested in rewards that are immediate, right? So the chips that you see in the pantry, the ice cream in the freezer, those are very, very attractive to your brain. But anytime you can separate, anytime you can make some distance, whether it be physical distance or time distance between yourself and that reward, your brain is going to be less interested in it. We call this delayed discounting. And it's something that you can use to your advantage when it comes to nighttime snacking. So how this works is you literally just set a timer for maybe 10 minutes. Take out your phone, set out a timer for 10 minutes, and tell yourself that you will have the snack, but you're gonna have it 10 minutes from now. What that's going to do is make it immediately slightly less desirable for your brain than it would have been if it was right in front of you. And during that 10 minutes, you can do more deep breathing, you can distract yourself doing something else, you can maybe tune in and kind of get curious about what these feelings are that you want the food to make you feel better. Whatever it is, I just want you to create a gap, to create some space between yourself and that food just for 10 minutes. And when that timer goes off, if you still really want the thing, have it. That's fine. You did some important work in reprogramming and rewiring what's going on in your brain. If not, then that's great. You're free for one whole night. And the third technique that I want to share, after taking a few deep breaths, doing the little delayed gratification technique, and third, think about a plan that you can use. Maybe not this time if you're in the middle of a craving, but get curious about what is triggering this craving for you in the evening and create a plan about what you can do instead of the food, right? Often at night we're tired, we're overwhelmed, we're not sleeping well, we've taken too much on our plate, we're feeling anxious, we're feeling, exhausted. And so think about how you can create routines, rituals for yourself that will actually address that issue that you're trying to use food to address. Make sense? So if you're overwhelmed, maybe you need to do some light stretching, deep breathing, some relaxation techniques. Maybe you need to take a bubble bath. Maybe you need to go to bed earlier. If you're worried about something, maybe you need to write down a list of what's going on and what your strategy is going to be. The important thing is that you start to recognize your triggers and you create a plan in advance for what you're going to do when you encounter those triggers instead of eating. Having this plan is going to be so helpful for you Instead of slipping into autopilot and going back to the food, you're going to be able to turn to your plan and do something that's actually going to be more effective and a lot healthier in addressing whatever that trigger was. So I hope those 3 steps are helpful. Again, it's take a few deep breaths just to get out of autopilot and get present. Second, try that delayed gratification technique of just setting your timer for 10 minutes and just creating a little bit of space between you and that reward. This phenomenon that, again, psychologists term delay discounting is really going to help you feel a little stronger and be able to make a better choice rather than if that food is right in front of you. And finally, make a plan for what you're going to do next time when you encounter the same triggers, the same feelings, the same thoughts that tend to send you towards the food. Make a plan for what you can do instead, and that's really going to serve you the next time this happens. So I hope that was helpful. I know how frustrating nighttime snacking can be. Again, this is something I struggled with for years, but by using these techniques as well as mindful eating and other techniques that I teach in my programs, I was able to really completely transform my relationship with food, especially when it comes to nighttime snacking, which I don't do anymore, or I just have a very simple, healthy snack and feel fully satisfied because I've done that underlying work of reprogramming and rewiring those old habits. So I hope this is helpful for you. Give it a try. I would love to know how this feels, and if you have any questions, let me know.